Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our lecture on starting for-profit corporations in Canada, with a focus on federal and provincial registration. Today, we will explore the foundational principles of establishing and managing for-profit corporations, which are key drivers of Canada's economy, from small businesses to multinational enterprises. Unlike non-for-profits, for-profit corporations aim to generate profits for shareholders while operating under legal frameworks like the Canada Business Corporations Act, CBCA, federally or provincial equivalents like Ontario's Business Corporations Act, OBCA. This lecture will cover the definition of for-profit corporations, their distinguishing features, the number of corporations in Canada, types of business activities, the step-by-step registration process through government platforms, operational requirements such as banking and taxation, and strategies for business development. We will also examine real-life applications, best practices, and ethical considerations to ensure corporations operate responsibly and sustainably. For example, corporations like Shopify demonstrate innovation, while small businesses like local cafes drive community economies. The course objectives include equipping you with the knowledge to establish, manage, and grow for-profit corporations, ensuring compliance with Canadian regulations and fostering ethical business practices. Ethical considerations, such as transparency in financial reporting and fair labor practices, are critical to maintaining public trust and legal compliance. By mastering these principles, you'll contribute to Canada's dynamic business sector, creating enterprises that balance profitability with societal responsibility. We begin with the lecture outline, providing a roadmap for our exploration. Following our introduction, let's review the lecture outline to guide our exploration of starting for-profit corporations in Canada. This lecture is structured to provide a comprehensive understanding, starting with an introduction to for-profit corporations and their role in Canada's economy. We'll explore key concepts, including the Canada Business Corporations Act and distinctions between federal and provincial incorporation. The registration process will detail steps, such as filing articles of incorporation, navigating government websites, and paying fees. Operational requirements will cover governance, banking, and tax obligations, while business development strategies will address funding, marketing, and growth. Real-life applications will highlight corporations like Shopify or small businesses, illustrating practical implementation. Best practices, such as transparent governance, and ethical considerations, like fair labor practices, will ensure sustainable operations. A summary will consolidate key takeaways, preparing you to establish compliant, successful corporations. This outline aligns with course objectives to develop skills for creating businesses that drive economic growth while adhering to Canadian regulations and ethical standards. This slide transitions to the introduction of for-profit corporations, where we'll define their scope and significance. Building on our lecture outline, let's introduce for-profit corporations in the context of Canada's economic landscape. For-profit corporations are legal entities designed to generate profits for shareholders, operating in sectors like technology, retail, or manufacturing. Unlike non-for-profits, they distribute profits to owners or reinvest for growth, as seen with companies like Shopify or Tim Hortons. In Canada, corporations are governed by the Canada Business Corporations Act, CBCA, for federal incorporation or provincial laws like Ontario's Business Corporations Act, ensuring legal compliance and accountability. These entities drive economic growth, creating jobs and fostering innovation, while supporting communities through taxes and employment. Ethical considerations include fair labor practices and transparent financial reporting to maintain stakeholder trust. This introduction aligns with course objectives to equip you with the knowledge to establish for-profit corporations that balance profitability with societal contributions, addressing Canada's economic needs with integrity. This slide transitions to defining for-profit corporations, where we'll clarify their characteristics and legal scope. Following our introduction, let's define for-profit corporations in Canada's context. A for-profit corporation is a legal entity established to pursue profit-driven objectives, such as selling goods or services, with profits distributed to shareholders or reinvested for growth. For example, a corporation like Loblaws generates revenue through grocery sales, distributing dividends to shareholders. Governed by the Canada Business Corporations Act, federally or provincial legislation, for-profits differ from non-for-profits, which reinvest surplus into emissions, and from partnerships, which lack corporate structure. Corporations can be private, like family-owned businesses, or public, like those listed on the TSX. Ethical considerations include ensuring transparent profit reporting and fair treatment of employees and customers. This definition aligns with course objectives by providing a foundation for understanding corporate structures, enabling you to establish compliant businesses that drive Canada's economy with clarity and ethical integrity. This slide transitions to the role of for-profits in Canada, where we'll explore their contributions. Following our definition, let's explore the role of for-profit corporations in Canada's economic and social landscape. For-profits drive economic growth by generating revenue, creating jobs, and paying taxes, as seen with corporations like Bombardier employing thousands. They innovate across sectors, such as Shopify in e-commerce or Suncor in energy, fostering technological and industrial advancements. Corporations also contribute to community development through corporate social responsibility (CSR) initiatives, like funding local charities or environmental programs. Ethical considerations include balancing profit motives with fair labor practices and environmental responsibility to maintain public trust. This role aligns with course objectives by highlighting how for-profits fuel Canada's economy, equipping you to create businesses that innovate and support communities with integrity and impact. This slide transitions to the number of for-profits in Canada, where we'll examine their prevalence. Following the role of for-profits, let's examine their prevalence in Canada's business sector. As of recent estimates, Canada has over 1.2 million active corporations, including small businesses like local restaurants and multinationals like Royal Bank of Canada. These span sectors like retail, technology, and manufacturing, contributing significantly to GDP and employment, according to Statistics Canada. Small and medium enterprises, SMEs, make up the majority, driving local economies, while large corporations influence national markets. Ethical considerations include transparent financial reporting and fair competition to maintain market trust. This overview aligns with course objectives by illustrating the scale of for-profits, equipping you to navigate Canada's business landscape and establish corporations that contribute to economic growth with integrity. This slide transitions to types of business activities, where we'll explore operational scope. Following our overview of for-profit prevalence, let's explore the types of business activities undertaken by for-profit corporations in Canada. Corporations engage in diverse activities, including retail, e.g., Loblaws grocery stores, technology, e.g., Shopify's e-commerce platforms, manufacturing, e.g., Magna International's auto parts, and services, e.g., consulting firms like Deloitte. These activities focus on generating profit while fostering innovation, such as developing new software or sustainable products. For example, a tech startup might create AI solutions, while a restaurant chain expands franchises. Ethical considerations include ensuring fair pricing and quality products to maintain customer trust. This exploration aligns with course objectives by highlighting the range of business activities, equipping you to design corporations with clear, profitable purposes that drive Canada's economy with ethical integrity. This slide transitions to retail activities, where we'll delve into specific examples. Following business activities, let's focus on retail activities by for-profit corporations in Canada. Retail corporations sell goods directly to consumers, such as groceries at Loblaws or clothing at Hudson's Bay. These businesses drive local economies by creating jobs and supporting supply chains, while national chains like Canadian Tire contribute to economic stability. Retail involves managing inventory, marketing, and customer service to maximize profit. Ethical considerations include fair pricing, honest advertising, and sustainable sourcing to build consumer trust. These activities align with course objectives by demonstrating how retail corporations operate, equipping you to establish businesses that meet consumer needs with profitability and ethical integrity. This slide transitions to technology activities, where we'll explore innovation-driven businesses. Following retail activities, let's discuss technology activities by for-profit corporations in Canada. Technology corporations develop software, hardware, or AI solutions, such as Shopify's e-commerce platforms or BlackBerry's cybersecurity software. These businesses foster innovation, driving global competitiveness and creating high-skilled jobs. For example, a startup might develop cloud-based tools, expanding Canada's tech sector. Ethical considerations include protecting user data, ensuring product reliability, and avoiding monopolistic practices. Technology activities align with course objectives by equipping you to create innovative corporations that enhance Canada's economy with ethical, cutting-edge solutions. This slide transitions to manufacturing activities, where we'll examine production-based businesses. Following technology activities, let's explore manufacturing activities by for-profit corporations in Canada. Manufacturing corporations produce goods, such as vehicles by Magna International or aerospace components by Bombardier. These businesses support supply chains, create jobs, and drive exports, contributing to Canada's industrial economy. For example, a manufacturer might produce sustainable packaging, aligning with market trends. Ethical considerations include safe working conditions, environmental responsibility, and fair labor practices. Manufacturing aligns with course objectives by equipping you to establish production-based corporations that support Canada's economy with ethical, efficient operations. This slide transitions to service activities, where we'll explore professional offerings. Following manufacturing, let's discuss service activities by for-profit corporations in Canada. Service corporations provide professional offerings, such as consulting by Deloitte, financial services by RBC, or legal advice by law firms. These businesses enhance business operations and consumer support, driving economic activity through expertise. For example, a consulting firm might streamline corporate operations, boosting efficiency. Ethical considerations include transparent billing, client confidentiality, and avoiding conflicts of interest. Service activities align with course objectives by equipping you to create corporations that deliver high-value services with profitability and ethical integrity. This slide transitions to legal frameworks for for-profits, where we'll explore regulations. Following service activities, let's discuss the legal frameworks governing for-profit corporations in Canada. Federally, corporations are regulated by the Canada Business Corporations Act, CBCA, which outlines incorporation, governance, and reporting requirements. Provincially, laws like Ontario's Business Corporations Act, OBCA, govern businesses operating within specific provinces. For example, a retail chain like Shoppers Drug Mart complies with both federal and provincial regulations. Compliance ensures transparency, shareholder protection, and ethical operations, such as accurate financial reporting. Ethical considerations include adhering to legal standards and ensuring fair shareholder treatment. These frameworks align with course objectives by equipping you to establish compliant corporations, balancing profitability with legal and ethical integrity. This slide transitions to the Canada Business Corporations Act, where we'll explore its specifics. Following legal frameworks, let's explore the Canada Business Corporations Act, CBCA, in detail. Enacted in 1975 and updated regularly, the CBCA governs federally incorporated for-profit corporations, providing a framework for incorporation, governance, and dissolution. It requires corporations, like Shopify, to file articles of incorporation, maintain a board of directors, and submit annual financial statements. The Act defines shareholder rights, such as voting, and ensures financial transparency through public filings with Corporations Canada. Ethical considerations include complying with disclosure rules and protecting minority shareholders. The CBCA aligns with course objectives by providing a legal foundation for establishing compliant corporations, enabling you to create businesses that drive Canada's economy with integrity. This slide transitions to provincial regulations, where we'll examine regional requirements. Following the CBCA, let's discuss provincial regulations for for-profit corporations in Canada. Each province has its own legislation, such as Ontario's Business Corporations Act, OBCA, or British Columbia's Business Corporations Act, governing provincially incorporated businesses. For example, a Toronto-based bakery must file bylaws and annual reports with Service Ontario. These regulations require clear governance, like electing directors, and financial transparency for local accountability. Ethical considerations include adhering to provincial standards and ensuring fair business practices. Provincial regulations align with course objectives by equipping you to navigate regional requirements, enabling you to establish corporations that comply with local laws while driving economic growth. This slide transitions to the registration process overview, where we'll outline incorporation steps. Following provincial regulations, let's provide an overview of the registration process for for-profit corporations in Canada. Corporations can incorporate federally under the CBCA or provincially under laws like the OBCA, depending on operational scope. For example, a national tech firm like Shopify incorporates federally, while a local retailer might choose provincial incorporation. The process involves filing articles of incorporation, detailing the business name, share structure, and purpose, and meeting legal requirements, like appointing directors, and financial requirements, like opening a bank account. Ethical considerations include transparent documentation and aligning the business purpose with market needs. This overview aligns with course objectives by equipping you to navigate incorporation, enabling you to establish compliant corporations that drive economic growth with integrity. This slide transitions to choosing federal or provincial incorporation, where we'll explore decision factors. Following the registration overview, let's discuss choosing between federal and provincial incorporation for for-profit corporations in Canada. Federal incorporation under the CBCA suits businesses with national or international operations, like Air Canada, allowing activities across provinces with one registration. Provincial incorporation, like under Alberta's Business Corporations Act, is ideal for local businesses, such as a Calgary restaurant, due to simpler compliance. Decision factors include operational scope, costs, federal fees are higher, and legal requirements, like federal name protection. Ethical considerations include choosing a structure that supports transparent operations. This decision aligns with course objectives by equipping you to select the appropriate incorporation path, ensuring your corporation operates legally and effectively. This slide transitions to the government website for registration, where we'll detail the starting point. Following incorporation choices, let's explore the government website for registering for-profit corporations in Canada. For federal incorporation, visit Corporations Canada's website, canada.ca, offering forms like Form 1, Articles of Incorporation, and Guidelines. For provincial incorporation, use registries like Ontario's Service Ontario or Alberta's Corporate Registry, providing tailored forms and instructions. These platforms offer step-by-step guidance, fee schedules, and compliance details, ensuring accessibility. For example, a startup might use Corporations Canada to file federally. Ethical considerations include accurate submissions and transparent business purposes. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to navigate official platforms, enabling efficient, compliant registration. This slide transitions to step-by-step registration, where we'll outline the process. Following the government website, let's outline the step-by-step registration process for for-profit corporations in Canada. First, Choose a unique name and confirm availability via Corporations Canada's new search for federal incorporation or provincial registries. Next, file articles of incorporation, specifying the business name, share structure, and purpose, using forms like Form 1 federally. Finally, submit fees, e.g., $200 for federal incorporation and documents, such as bylaws or director details. For example, a tech startup might file these to operate in British Columbia. Ethical considerations include ensuring the name reflects the business purpose transparently. This process aligns with course objectives by providing a clear roadmap for registration, enabling compliant corporations that drive economic growth. This slide transitions to name selection and approval, where we'll detail the first step. Following the registration process, let's discuss name selection and approval for for-profit corporations in Canada. Selecting a unique, descriptive name, like Canada Tech Innovations, ensures clarity and market appeal. For federal incorporation, use the nuance system via Corporations Canada to confirm name availability, avoiding conflicts with existing businesses. Provincial registries, like Service Ontario, offer similar searches. The name should align with the business's market, such as tech or retail, to attract customers. Ethical considerations include avoiding misleading names and ensuring cultural sensitivity. The step aligns with course objectives by equipping you to choose compliant, marketable names, enabling corporations to resonate with Canada's consumers. This slide transitions to articles of incorporation, where we'll explore key documentation. Following name selection, let's explore articles of incorporation for for-profit corporations in Canada. Articles of incorporation define the business's purpose, e.g., software development, share structure, e.g., common or preferred shares, and details like director names and registered office address. For example, a retailer like Canadian Tire files articles specifying retail operations. Filed with Corporations Canada federally or provincial registries, these documents ensure legal recognition. Ethical considerations include accurate purpose statements and transparent share structures. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to prepare essential documents, enabling compliant corporations that drive economic growth with integrity. This slide transitions to registration fees, where we'll discuss costs. Following articles of incorporation, let's discuss registration fees for for-profit corporations in Canada. For federal incorporation under the CBCA, the filing fee is approximately $200, payable to Corporations Canada. Provincial fees vary. Ontario charges about $360 under the OBCA, while Alberta's fee is around $450. Additional costs include nuance searches, $20, $60, or legal fees for complex structures. For example, a small business must budget for these fees. Ethical considerations include transparent financial planning and prioritizing business activities. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to budget effectively, enabling compliant corporations with fiscal responsibility. This slide transitions to required documents, where we'll explore paperwork. Following registration fees, let's explore required documents for registering for-profit corporations in Canada. Key documents include articles of incorporation, detailing the business purpose and share structure, and bylaws, outlining governance rules like shareholder meetings. The registered office address, such as a business's headquarters, and a list of first directors are required. For example, a tech firm might submit these to Corporations Canada. Ethical considerations include accurate documentation and protecting director privacy. These documents align with course objectives by equipping you to prepare compliant paperwork, enabling corporations to operate legally and effectively. This slide transitions to bylaws preparation, where we'll discuss governance rules. Following required documents, let's discuss bylaws preparation for for-profit corporations in Canada. Bylaws outline governance, such as board elections, shareholder rights, and meeting procedures, e.g., annual general meetings. For example, A corporation like Shopify specifies shareholder voting rules in its bylaws. These must comply with the CBCA federally or provincial laws, ensuring legal clarity. Ethical considerations include transparent governance and equitable shareholder treatment. Bylaws preparation aligns with course objectives by equipping you to create robust governance structures, enabling effective, compliant corporations. This slide transitions to director requirements, where we'll explore board responsibilities. Following bylaws, let's explore director requirements for for-profit corporations in Canada. The CBCA requires at least one director for private corporations, who must be an individual, 19 or older, and not bankrupt. Public corporations require more, often 3 or more. For example, a startup might appoint directors with tech expertise. Directors oversee governance, ensuring business objectives are met. Ethical considerations include selecting diverse, qualified directors and avoiding conflicts of interest. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to build effective boards, enabling compliant corporations. This slide transitions to share structure, where we'll discuss ownership models. Following director requirements, let's discuss share structure for for-profit corporations in Canada. Share structure defines common shares, voting rights, dividends, and preferred shares, priority dividends, no voting, as seen with corporations like Rogers Communications. It outlines shareholder rights, like voting or profit distribution, and aligns with business goals, such as attracting investors. Ethical considerations include transparent share allocation and protecting minority shareholders. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to design ownership models that support growth and compliance. This slide transitions to banking requirements, where we'll explore financial setup. Following share structure, let's discuss banking requirements for for-profit corporations in Canada. Corporations must open a dedicated bank account to manage revenue, expenses, and investments, separate from personal accounts. For example, a retailer like Loblaws uses a corporate account at TD Bank. Banks often require multiple signatories, like directors, for accountability. Transparent financial management involves audits and compliance with the CBCA. Ethical considerations include preventing fund misuse and ensuring transparency. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to establish robust financial systems for compliant corporations. This slide transitions to tax requirements, where we'll explore fiscal obligations. Following banking requirements, let's explore tax requirements for for-profit corporations in Canada. Corporations must register with the Canada Revenue Agency (CRA) for a business number to handle taxes. They file annual T2 corporate tax returns, reporting income and deductions, as seen with companies like Tim Hortons. Compliance with GST/HST regulations is required if sales exceed $30,000 annually. Ethical considerations include accurate reporting and avoiding tax evasion. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to manage tax obligations, ensuring compliant, profitable corporations. This slide transitions to business development strategies, where we'll explore growth methods. Following tax requirements, let's discuss business development strategies for for-profit corporations in Canada. Strategies include securing funding through loans or investors, expanding markets via exports or franchises, and leveraging marketing, like digital campaigns on partnerships, such as with suppliers or tech firms, enhance growth, as seen with Shopify's ecosystem. Sustainable growth involves balancing profitability with environmental and social responsibility. Ethical considerations include transparent marketing and fair partnerships. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to grow corporations profitably and ethically. This slide transitions to funding strategies, where we'll explore financing options. Following business development, let's explore funding strategies for for-profit corporations in Canada. Corporations can seek bank loans, like those from BMO, or venture capital from firms like Omers Ventures. Issuing shares to investors, as seen with public companies like Shopify, raises capital. Financial transparency ensures investor trust through clear reporting. Ethical considerations include avoiding misleading financial projections. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to secure funding for growth while maintaining integrity. This slide transitions to marketing strategies, where we'll discuss customer engagement. Following funding, let's discuss marketing strategies for for-profit corporations in Canada. Corporations use digital advertising, like social media campaigns on X, and traditional methods, like TV ads, to attract customers. Building brand loyalty, as seen with Tim Hortons campaigns, retains consumers. Targeting diverse markets, such as multicultural communities, expands reach. Ethical considerations include honest advertising and cultural sensitivity. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to design marketing plans that drive profitability with integrity. This slide transitions to partnerships for growth, where we'll explore collaboration. Following marketing, let's discuss partnerships for for-profit corporations in Canada. Collaborations with suppliers, like Loblaws partnering with food producers, or tech firms, like Shopify with app developers, enhance operations. Aligning with business goals ensures mutual benefits, while transparent agreements prevent disputes. Ethical considerations include fair treatment of partners and avoiding exploitative terms. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to build strategic partnerships for growth with integrity. This slide transitions to real-life applications, where we'll explore practical examples. Following partnerships, let's examine real-life applications of for-profit corporations in Canada. Corporations operate in retail, Loblaws, technology, Shopify, and manufacturing, Magna, driving economic growth through jobs and innovation. They impact communities via CSR, like funding local initiatives. Ethical considerations include fair labor practices and transparent operations. This aligns with course objectives by demonstrating how corporations operate, equipping you to create impactful businesses. This slide transitions to example, Shopify, where we'll explore a case study. Following real-life applications, let's explore an example, Shopify. This corporation provides e-commerce platforms, enabling businesses to sell online. It raises funds through public shares on the TSX and innovates globally, employing thousands in Canada. Ethical considerations include protecting user data and ensuring fair pricing. This example aligns with course objectives by illustrating successful operations, equipping you to create innovative corporations. This slide transitions to example, Loblaws, where we'll examine another case. Following Shopify, let's explore Loblaws. This corporation operates grocery stores, generating profits through sales and raising funds via investments. It supports community programs, like food drives, through CSR. Ethical considerations include fair pricing and sustainable sourcing. This aligns with course objectives by demonstrating retail success, equipping you to create impactful corporations. This slide transitions to example, Magna International, where we'll discuss a manufacturing case. Following Loblaws, let's explore Magna International. This corporation manufactures auto parts, funding operations through sales and global contracts. It drives industrial innovation, supporting Canada's automotive sector. Ethical considerations include safe working conditions and environmental responsibility. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to create manufacturing corporations with impact and integrity. This slide transitions to best practices in corporate management, where we'll explore strategies. Following Magna, let's discuss best practices in managing for-profit corporations in Canada. Transparent governance involves clear bylaws, audits, and financial reporting, as seen with Shopify. Engaging stakeholders, like shareholders and employees, ensures inclusive decision-making. Aligning with business objectives maximizes profitability. Ethical considerations include avoiding conflicts of interest and ensuring fair treatment. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to manage corporations effectively with integrity. This slide transitions to best practices in financing, where we'll explore funding strategies. Following corporate management, let's explore best practices in financing for-profit corporations in Canada. Diversifying funding, like combining loans and equity, ensures stability, as seen with Shopify. Maintaining transparent financials builds investor trust, while aligning with growth goals supports expansion. Ethical considerations include accurate reporting and avoiding speculative financing. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to secure sustainable funding with integrity. This slide transitions to ethical considerations, where we'll explore responsible practices. Following financing practices, let's discuss ethical considerations for-profit corporations in Canada. Transparency involves clear financial reporting and fair pricing, as seen with Loblaws. Protecting employee and consumer rights includes fair wages and safe products. Compliance with regulations, like the CBCA, ensures legal integrity. Ethical practices build trust, critical for sustainable operations. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to manage corporations with integrity and compliance. This slide transitions to evaluating corporate success, where we'll explore assessment methods. Following ethical considerations, let's explore evaluating for-profit corporation success in Canada. Measuring financial performance involves assessing revenue and profitability, as seen with Shopify. Evaluating market impact, like market share, and social impact, like CSR contributions, provides a holistic view. Stakeholder feedback refines operations. Ethical considerations include transparent reporting and avoiding exaggerated claims. This aligns with course objectives by equipping you to assess corporate success effectively. This slide transitions to summary, where we'll consolidate key points. As we conclude our lecture on for-profit corporations in Canada, let's summarize key points. For-profits drive economic growth through profit-driven activities, governed by the CBCA or provincial laws. Registration involves filing articles of incorporation, bylaws, and fees via government platforms. Operations require transparent governance, banking, and tax compliance. Funding and partnerships, like those of Shopify, ensure growth. Best practices and ethical considerations, like fair practices, build trust. These align with course objectives to equip you with skills to establish and manage corporations that drive Canada's economy with integrity and impact. Thank you for your engagement. Following our summary, this slide provides references for-profit corporations in Canada. The Canada Business Corporations Act, 1975, outlines legal requirements for incorporation and governance. Statistics Canada's Business Sector Report, 2023, provides data on corporate contributions. The Tree Council Policy Statement, 2022, offers ethical guidelines for business research. Course notes by Piivand Pirouzi, Ph.D. provide practical insights for establishing corporations. These references support creating compliant, impactful businesses with integrity.